Hi, keto and cholesterol. What's the deal? Let's talk about that. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Let's jump right in. First of all, for those of you who don't know, the ketogenic protocol is one whereby you reduce carbohydrate intake to a level where our livers stop pushing out glucose, and when our bodies don't have the glucose, they happily turn to burning fat or ketone bodies for fuel. It works beautifully. How does one do that? Keep your carbohydrate intake low, 20 grams or fewer a day, total not net. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. One of the first things that come up, people ask, what can I eat? Well, it's fatty sources of protein, non-starchy vegetables, about a cup maximum a day. This is pre-cooked, maximum, not minimum. And about 2 cups a day of leafy greens a day, maximum, not minimum. The rest is some full-fat dairy, not unlimited. But the rest is animal product, fatty sources of protein. Bacon with the fat, pork chops with the fat, poultry with the skin, eggs with the yolks. If you really want a list, you can find a certified copyrighted copy of Dr. Eric Westman's official page 4. There's the food list. And if it's not on there, don't eat it. So people look at the list and say, oh wow, okay, well that's a lot of meat. Well, it's not a lot of meat. You don't have to eat everything on the list, and you don't eat, like the coneheads used to do vast quantities. Because the third thing is, don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. But it is fatty sources of protein centric. Carbohydrate is not a required macronutrient, so you don't have to have any vegetables if you don't want, and no fruit because that's sugar. Many people will be concerned when looking at this, and actually more people's doctors will be concerned about cholesterol. It's not their fault. They were taught the wrong thing. That's actually exactly what I told my very good and very nice doctor when I went after a few months of having followed this. And she was, I was on board for all the bad stuff from the previous annual, and I was borderline everything. And she online medical file kit. Casey continues to struggle with her weight, which was factual. Recommend a low-fat diet and more exercise. Well, I've been trying that for a long time. It was very difficult to sustain. So I went the opposite way. I started the low-carb ketogenic diet. And when I went in, I'd lost about 25 pounds. She came in the room, this is fantastic. What have you done? I said, thank you. I've done just really the opposite of everything you told me to do last year. And she, to her credit, she did not get offended. And then she saw that I had a copy of Good Calories, Bad Calories by Gary Taubes. That's not a nutrition manual. It's not a diet book. It is a book about how the very bad science and political influence created the saturated fat leads to high cholesterol, leads to heart disease. And that's just simply wrong. And it's pretty well been shown to be wrong. It's just, like I said, bad science and politics and vested interests. So the doctors were just taught this. Overall one cholesterol number, it's pretty useless because it's not like somebody goes in there, looks at your blood and counts cholesterol. Cholesterol has many components. There are 2 types of low-density lipoproteins, LDL. 2 types. One's big and fluffy and benign, and one's small and sticky and a little bit less benign. There's triglyceride, there's HDL. HDL is high-density lipoprotein, beneficial. Triglyceride still has a role to play, but what you don't want to pay attention to the overall cholesterol number because, FYI, every cell in the human body requires cholesterol. Every single cell in the human body. If there was a machine that could zap us of all of our cholesterol out of our bodies, we would fall into a mushy puddle. So anyway, triglyceride is kind of an inflammatory marker. We want some inflammation sometimes. It helps fend off infection. HDL, high density lipoprotein, is anti-inflammatory. We want that as well, to regulate, right? We want to be regulated. Excuse me. My smartwatch is talking to me. My poor dog Jack just walked in here because he thinks that usually we're going to go outside and do something. So what you want is a balance of triglyceride and HDL. Ideally, you want those two numbers to be like the same. So if your triglyceride is 72 and HDL is 72, huzzah. If your HDL is higher, even better. A lot of people don't know what those numbers are because the doctor just rattles off an overall cholesterol number, which is not very helpful. So you can ask for that to be broken down. You want to know what your triglycerides and your HDL are. LDL is not so important. So where does that leave us? Sometimes it leaves us with having to ease our doctors into being more comfortable with the fact that their big fat medical degree taught them some incorrect stuff. But even if your doctor says you must take a statin, and sometimes the doctors are mandated to prescribe a statin if your overall cholesterol number is above a certain one. And guess what? That number keeps getting lower and lower. Let's guess, why do we think that is? So your doctor can prescribe you a statin. If my cholesterol number, my triglyceride and my HDL, I think my triglyceride was 56, I think. It was either 54 or 56. And my HDL was 98. So I'm golden. But if for some reason that overall cholesterol number was high enough that my doctor said you need a statin, I would say thank you very much. You may note in my file I will not be taking a statin. And then they get credit for having prescribed it. I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, and keep in mind that when you first start the ketogenic protocol, what happens is your body starts mobilizing fat cells for fuel. That's the whole point. There's not just fat in those fat cells. There's all kinds of goodies. There are hormones, there's cholesterol, your triglyceride might actually even go up because it's being mobilized. And then it gets into the blood. That's okay. Over time, if you stick with the protocol, don't blame keto for what the cheat day did. It will just beautifully regulate those components of cholesterol that we want regulated. It'll make the HDL go up and the triglyceride go down. I promise. If you follow the protocol. So, I would say take a chill pill when it comes to cholesterol and the ketogenic protocol. But we don't have to take any pills. That's one of the beautiful things about this. Many people come off their medications. So today's quickie is, don't worry about the cholesterol. If your doctor is worried about the cholesterol, they can prescribe themselves a little sedative so they can sleep at night. But you're going to be okay. Okay? Thank you so much. I appreciate this, and I will see you the next time with a Go Keto with KC Quickie. Take care.